Hmm. There we go. Howdy, folks. Shawn here from Hiking with Shawn on YouTube. And today I just wanted to do a random live stream. So that is what I'm doing. I see there's 2 people watching. Those of you watching, can you see and hear me well? Let me know in the chat. What's up, Stone? What's up, 2 Bobs? Good deal. That is what I wanted to know. Okay, I'm looking at the screen of the video. There's a delay. I could see the cat behind me, and then the cat just went beside me, and it kind of confused me. I am drinking a little bit. I kind of been easing off the beer lately, so I drink a little bit, and that's just because I'm trying to watch my health. Welcome is BU. I think I said your name right. Hey, any friend of Bob's is a friend of Hiking with Shawn's. Yeah, the cat always loves to be in my video. Eventually she'll get on the back of my chair and eventually make her way to my lap. She is a lap dog of a cat. Howdy, Thomas. Welcome. Figured I'd just do a little live stream, and on these scheduled or really unscheduled live streams, y'all could just talk about really whatever you want, meet and greet each other, and talk about hiking and outdoors and YouTube and whatever you really want to talk about. But I named it "Where Are You Hiking Next?" to kind of give a topic, an idea, if you will. So feel free to let everyone know in the chat where you plan on hiking next. I'm going tomorrow, but I don't quite know where I'm going yet. After an exciting weekend last weekend with Bulge Hole and One Horse Gap, I'm ready to get back out there. Thank you, Mike. Funny about that, that video, or those videos, I went out to Bulge Hole with the advice of Ancient Stone in here, and he had told me in Messenger that there's some pretty nice waterfalls out there. So I went out there and I found that one waterfall where I did the live stream. It was like a couple little ones feeding into a bigger one and eventually feeding into a much larger one. And I thought that was it. I really did. And then Stone mentioned something about a cave. Well, that sparked my interest, and I started bushwhacking, getting off trail, and I was just finding waterfall after waterfall, big, small, huge. And I kept, I couldn't get down to the bottom where I could see the natural shelters and whatnot. So I ended up finding this ledge, and I jumped off of it. Not the smartest thing in the world. Kids, don't try that at home. But it wasn't too high. And then I got to the bottom of the falls and found that one with the huge natural shelter that was more or less the cave. And it was worth it. That place, I just wrote a blog post on it tonight. You can see it on my website or Facebook page, wherever you want to find it, Twitter. And it was pretty neat. You would, Bob. Yeah, I figured that. Little Bob and Big Bob. Both still very small to me, but I'm a jolly green giant. But you all should see my brother, my little brother. He's almost 7 foot tall. He towers over me like I'm a midget or a little person. Sorry, I don't want to be offensive. And he just got a job as a prison guard. So something tells me he's going to be probably feared by the inmates there. I thought I'd do a little chat. 9, 10 people already watching. That's cool. I know a couple people already doing live streams on YouTube tonight. And that's cool. I'm not trying to, get in on their action. It's just I cater more to the hiking and outdoor community while they kind of cater to other niche. So, I don't really see it as that big of a deal. Stone, I'll be back there for sure. That place was amazing. That's going to be a place I visit again and again. And thus far, posting stuff on Facebook and Twitter and all that, people are just amazed by it. Howdy, Amanda. Welcome. Mike, eventually I will. I hiked some of Mark Twain forest when I went and visited Grim Reaper over by Dora, Missouri. And eventually I'd like to make it out to somewhere like Grand Canyon and see the big ones. But eventually I want to come to Florida too, hike some of the swamps, maybe ride an alligator or something. Good deal, Bob. I'm glad. I try to help you guys out every chance I get. I think that's a really cool thing you and your dad have going for you. Me and my dad get along great, but he would never get out and hike with me. Of course, he has an artificial hip. It is hard to get out of the state. Eventually, I want to meet up with Scott Taylor and his gang and do some hiking, down there in the mountains and bear country. Hopefully, I don't get eaten by a bear. Big Springs in Missouri. Yeah, I'll look that up. Is it near Current River area at all? That looked neat. I've never been to Current River. I've just driven over it, but I'm not much of a rafter. Yep, old Two Bob's Adventure here. He has another vlog on YouTube called Bob's Vlogs and More, I do believe. Funny stuff. Hey, welcome, DNS Adventures. Welcome. I believe you were one of them who tagged me on that gear tag. I'm still going to do that. I just haven't done it yet. My plan was to do it at Bulge Hole and have every time I answered each question or showed off each piece of gear, I was going to have a different waterfall behind me in each scene. But I became so overwhelmed with what I was seeing over there, I forgot all about it. What is my favorite thing about hiking? Bob can answer that one. What is it, Bob? Ozark Mountains. Yeah, that should be a good one. Definitely on my list. Yeah, DNS, I do have a stack. I got some footage that I recorded last year that I still haven't put up yet that I need to. It's good footage. Hiking with you and what else, Bob? Starts with a B. There's Merv Fisher, my buddy. Me and him are going to eventually hike out to Rock House in the Less Creek Wilderness. I'm saving that trip specifically to hike with Merv. There you go. Hike with Mike and two Bobs got it. And so did Amanda, the bluffage. I hike for the bluffage. But now, don't get me wrong, if I'm hiking in an area that doesn't have any bluffage, that's fine. You know, I don't have to have bluffage all the time. I want bluffage all the time, but you can't always get what you want. Of course, waterfalls and bluffage, you know, it's hard to see which one I really want. Used to kayak Less Creek. That'd be fun. I want to do kayaking, but in a calm watershed environment, like Lower Cache River, because I'm not the best swimmer. So I want to be in an area where if I fall in, it's the current isn't gonna take me away. And some parts of Less Creek is fairly dangerous. I hear the area over by Rock House is very rapid. 11 Point River, I've heard of that. Yeah, Hike with Mike has the swampage over in his parts. Make sure you and your dad videotape that one, Bob. 11 Point River in Missouri has a waterfall. Oh, that's cool. A waterfall inside of the bluffage. Now that'd be a good sight. That'd make a good thumbnail. So yeah, just thought I'd do a little live stream. I'm gonna stay up a little while tonight. Amanda, that's somewhat true. On rainy days, definitely the waterfalls, but I still love going to the bluffage. I'll open up Google Maps, put it on satellite view, and start just looking through the forest. And I find all these little spots where you can kind of see the bluffage really well, you know, from a bird's eye view. And I just think to myself, I got to find that place. But it's a bushwhack usually to get to them. Thank you, Iz. But the waterfalls are cool, especially when you find that many in one day, like a bulge hole. That was a life changer, seeing that place. I should have went there a lot sooner. You know, I've not really spent a whole lot of time in Indiana. Years ago, when I was in my early 20s, I did a lot of storm chasing in southern Indiana. In fact, I almost got hit by a tornado in southern Indiana on an old dirt farm road at night. But other than that, I've not really explored too much of that state. I need to. I know Sloan's Wilderness Adventures is over there in the Indiana area. Need to meet up with them guys. Distance measure on Google Earth. What's going on, Matt? If any of you follow Matt, go check him out. His latest video shows drone footage of One Horse Gap, where me and him were there. You can see me waving at the drone and him. And it's pretty good footage. It's shaky, but his new drone is going to be a whole lot better. So we're going to have to return back to the forest, Matt, to test that new drone out. Welcome, Black Mountainside. Greetings to you as well, Bubba. But definitely check out Matt Golson. He's a really good friend of mine. I rode my bike with him the other day, and he just left me behind like I was nothing on the road bike. And that was a whole lot of fun. His brother was there too, and he was riding an e-bike. So, of course, he was leaving me behind. He didn't really have to do anything. But that was the first 20-plus mile bike ride I've done in a long time. I'm going to have to do that more often. Kind of miss the road bike. Matt, I will say, though, in the defense of the older drone, um, that was a pretty cool footage nonetheless. I mean, I don't know if you added stabilization through Premiere, but it wasn't that bad. I've seen a lot worse footage. Oh yeah, Merv? Yeah, me too. I used to have, that was my first YouTube creator experience. I used to upload storm chasing videos, but I didn't really edit anything, and it was horrible cameras. Back then I was poor and didn't buy anything fancy. Now I have all the cameras to do it, but getting older, you start to care a little bit more about your health, and that's why I quit storm chasing. It's dangerous, and there's too many chasers on the road these days. Too many amateurs that are, they just want to take a picture of a selfie, with a tornado behind them, so they could hurry up and post on social media and get attention. And I try not to judge people, but that's a good way to get them and other chasers killed, you know. So now I'm just a storm spotter for my local area. I've been that since I was 17, 16 or 17. But I've seen a lot of tornadoes. Yeah, that's true, DNS. When I chased alone. So filming and driving went hand in hand. And that's something I don't recommend people do, that's dangerous. And but I've seen some pretty good ones. If you look up on YouTube, Mapleton, Iowa tornado, and Gossman, Gossman, my last name, you can probably find a couple of pretty good videos. Like I said, bad footage, but the Mapleton tornado was a huge wedge, and it hit Mapleton, Iowa, and just tore the place up. And we stopped and helped with search and rescue. It was just so raw to see every window in that town was broken. Trailer homes were on top of houses. It was very strange. Hey, see you, Bob. Take care and be safe out there. Tell your mom and dad I said hello. Hey, you made it in, native. Welcome. On your way to Indiana. F5. The tornado I seen in Mapleton, I don't think was an F5. I think it was an F3 or an EF3. Enhanced Fujita. But it was big. It was almost a mile wide. I've only ever been through small earthquakes, and they freak me out. Earthquakes scare me. That's the one natural disaster that really bothers me. And southern Illinois is in between two major faults. So to our north, we have the Wabash Valley seismic zone. And to our south, we have the New Madrid seismic zone. And while we're not in the epicenter, in places like Metropolis, Illinois, Cairo, Cape, Memphis, Paducah, if the New Madrid ever really goes big, those places won't exist anymore. Sad to say, but they won't. The river will just annihilate them. But in southern Illinois, we have so many coal mines, underground coal mines, that they'll start collapsing from the initial quake. and any aftershocks. I'm not a expert in earthquakes. I do have a master's degree in emergency management. So through my college years of spent in college, I've studied a lot on disasters. And I did a big paper on what would, likely occur if New Madrid really had a 7.0 or above magnitude earthquake. And, it wasn't a fun paper to write. Got me a really good grade. Got me a straight A. And, the professor really enjoyed it, but it wasn't very fun to write. Yeah, I hate that Joplin tornado native. That was bad. I didn't chase that, but I know chasers who did, and as they were chasing, they were starting to see the deceased, and some of them quit chasing after that. It was just too much for them. I've never seen anyone deceased from a tornado, and I'm glad, because I wouldn't want to see that. That's another reason why I don't really get into it no more. People do not take cover when they need to. They think, oh, it's not going to hit. They always say it's going to hit. It's not going to hit. And then that one time when they decide not to take cover, it hits. And it doesn't really, result in anything positive after that. Yeah, the 1800 earthquake, the New Madrid, did make the river flow backwards. They said it'd probably do it again. And as a result of that, it would do something to the Asian carp, the invasive fish species we have. It'd kill them all instantly. So that'd be the one benefit. It'd get rid of the Asian carp. Back in the 1800s, when that quake occurred, there wasn't as many deaths as predicted today. And that's because there wasn't that many people living. That was settlement. I mean, it wasn't as modern and populated as it is today. So now we have infrastructure and everything. And yeah, maybe Merv, as long as we're not eating out of Crab Orchard Lake. Won't eat any fish out of crab. Don't want to wake up with a third eyeball growing out of my ear. DNS, just kind of research where tornadoes are active. Create that little map where they're active, and then research where all our nuclear power plants are. Now that is scary. And that was mentioned in my earthquake paper, because Illinois at that time had the most nuclear power plants. There's none around here except for low-level uranium in Metropolis, and then some in Paducah. But in Metropolis, they manufacture UF6, uranium hexafluoride 6. And if there was some sort of plant emergency where the chemical released, it could reach up here, and it could be devastating. Alabama does get a lot of tornadoes. I've chased storms in Alabama. We call that the jungle because of all the trees and hills. CBD vape. I do vape. I do know Rick Shanklin. I've met him a few times in storm spotter classes. Fun guy. I've met Rick. I've met Jim Razor from WSIL TV. He's a cyclist. I bought with basement safe room. Nuclear scares me. Yeah, nuclear is scary. Luckily, there are many controls put in place to prevent nuclear emergencies in power plants. Barriers is the best thing. If you can, if there's some sort of emergency, putting plastic on your windows and doors and trying to cover up the air ventilation is still a good idea. It may not help with some of the more harmful rays of uranium or nuclear chemicals and all that, but I mean, it could help. And then if you research and you actually spend the money, you had the money to build safe rooms, you can do a lot more. But hopefully we never have to experience that. Hopefully previous history, like Chernobyl and what's the other one? 2 Mile Island? Was that 3 Mile Island? Hopefully all that will kind of teach us. Yep. Well, it's cool that you're a spotter, Merv. I love seeing other storm spotters. Been one for a long time. In fact, I got a big old Skywarn sticker on my back window. And if you like message forums, I own skywarnforum.com, which is a forum for Skywarn. Used to be a lot bigger, but we restarted it. Now it's not so big. But yeah, I kind of like doing these little live streams, getting to know you all more. And I know I'm kind of the only one talking. Eventually I'll have guests. It's just, there'll be some kind of regulations, because I've been on some other live streams that get kind of, I don't know, graphic. I don't really want to do that here. But I do thank you all for tuning in. Seems like when I do these home live streams, I get a little bit more people. When I'm out there in the woods doing them, the signal's not as good, and it's very random. I just kind of look at my phone and go, "Ooh, I got a little signal. I could do a live stream." So I don't know where I'm going tomorrow. I will be hiking tomorrow, but where, I don't know yet. I have a few ideas. I thought about driving to High Knob and doing that Hurricane Bluff, I think it is. Thought about doing that. Thought about getting into the Garden of the Gods wilderness, hiking it a little bit. Thought about going on the west side, maybe doing some hiking out there. Don't know yet. I'll go somewhere. Swamp hiking. I need to go to Cache River eventually. Might do that tomorrow. Haven't been there in a while. That's our swamp, Mike. It's just like your swamp, except no alligators. Or hurricanes. Unless you count the 2009 Great Derecho that the locals called an inland hurricane. But it was just a very severe rotating thunderstorm. Spawned a couple of tornadoes, but for the most part, 110 mile per hour straight line winds. It took a lot of trees. Four-legged frogs. Ew. Fox Valley. What's that, Stone? Housatonic River. That sounds pretty cool. Yep, I knew you'd be up here. I need to get out more and explore other parts of the country. West side of Garden of the Gods. Huh, I've checked that out. I have to look at that. Garden of the Gods is really cool. That whole area. I mean, the observation trail's nice, but it's always packed. But once you get into the wilderness area of it, it isn't always as packed because it's harder. A lot of the tourists, it's too hard for them. Then Less Creek, that's another. It's our biggest wilderness. It's fun. I think Less Creek is 7,000 acres. And while that's not a lot, our smallest wilderness area is Panther Den, and I think it's a little bit under 200 acres. It's not very big, but you could easily get lost out there if you went off trail. Go find that haunted house. I wish I could. You gigged a bullfrog once that had a mouse in its mouth. For a minute, I thought it said mouth in its mouth. I was getting all confused. Get well soon, native. I had pneumonia a couple months ago for the first time, and it did a number on me. That's kind of part of the reason why I've kind of slacked off, like drinking, which I really didn't drink a lot, but I'm just getting to the point where I want to take better care of myself and prevent the flu without having to get the vaccine. No offense to anyone who gets it, I just would rather not. Don't like needles that much, and I don't like medication. I like natural medication because then I know actually what's really in it. Without trying to be a conspiracy nut. Just think though, folks, probably about 6 to 8 weeks, something like that, is going to be the spring migration for Snake Road. So I'm going to get back into snake chasing mode. Start pumping out them snake videos. I can't wait for that. Usually it's a bit more active in the spring because all the snakes are coming out of hibernation and hanging out on the road more and hanging around the swamps. What's up, TJ? Welcome, buddy. Always good to see you. Hey, have a good night, Ancient Stone. Good talking to you again, Bubba. It is getting late. I do late live streams. Oh, nothing much, TJ. Just thought I'd do a little live stream and see what happens. That's good, Mike. That's how it used to be. But as I get older, it seems like my immunity just dissipates. But I'll tell you what I think was the cause. What's the real cause is this thing right here is completely fake. I have an upper denture. And when I was a kid, I didn't take care of my teeth. And when I became an adult, it wasn't habitual. So I didn't take care of them then either. And I ended up getting all my top teeth pulled and got a denture. And I think when I went through that trauma, it may have kind of weakened my immune system. I really do think that. Because I know my dad, when he got his hip replaced after falling, he gets sick, a lot easier now. So I often wonder if trauma does that. Now I take really good care of my bottom teeth. Getting 16 teeth pulled out in one day is, enough to make you take care of the rest, especially when you're awake through that. Hey, take care, Merv. Thanks for stopping by. I'll probably end the stream here shortly. I just kind of want to do a little one. There's some folks on here that will go on for hours and hours, and I just can't do that. You guys will watch me start dozing off and eventually falling asleep at the live stream, and then you just be 10 people in here watching me sleep. That'd be kind of creepy. Are you comfortable, kitty? But on that note, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. So thank you all for tuning in to this little random live chat. I'm going to try to do these more often and organize them a little bit so we have topics and maybe some guests and stuff like that. But I just got to kind of plan it out and see how I want to do it all. Also, I have a shed in my yard that I'm going to convert into like a studio. I'm going to solarize it, insulate it, put lighting in there, green screen, get me a wireless router, and eventually be able to take a laptop out there and film. And when I do that, it may make for a good studio in case I have a guest that can show up to it and do some live stuff out there, podcasting or whatever. So that's a plan. First, I have to solarize it because hooking power to it is too expensive. It'd be cheaper to solarize it. I mean, after you get through the initial costs, it's free. So that's my plan. It's a pretty big shed. I really don't use it for nothing else but bike storage. Figure I'd just hang the bikes on the wall and give it a good background. Put a futon in there and just make it really cool. So thanks again for watching another live stream, folks. And until next time, I'll see you on the trail. Now I'm going to end it. Have a good night. Take care, everyone. Be safe.